Hello, my name's Kevin Morell, and together with Graham Curry, both of us are at Warwick Business School, we've authored a paper in Public Administration Review on impossible jobs or impossible tasks, client volatility and frontline policing practice in urban riots. And I'm going to illustrate that with reference to two objects here. One, a slightly battered BlackBerry, and this being a colloquially what would be called a rubber bullet or a plastic baton. And you can see that's the explosive charge that has set that off. The reason for talking about those two is they kind of intersect in relation to the central case that we look at in the paper. First, let me say a little bit about what the Impossible Jobs framework is for people who are not familiar with it. It comes from Edwin Hargrove and John Glidewell's edited book. They identify 4 criteria which make the agency chief or commissioner or boss of a public agency impossible. And these criteria interact, and it's the interaction and the interlocking of the criteria that make the agency chief's job impossible. The first is they deal with unpopular or illegitimate clients, so there's less goodwill inherently towards the agency. A second criterion is that stakeholders have conflicting values. They don't agree on what the best solutions are facing this unpopular client base. A third criterion is that the leader's authority is questioned, and a fourth is that the agency myth or the espoused purpose of the agency is also something people don't believe in. What happened during the UK riots of 2011 was that you had an intersection of these various things. Policing tactics and operations and procedure came under question because it was faced with a completely new threat, in a sense, which was the role of contemporary technology, and specifically closed network instant messaging, which meant that small groups were able to coordinate remotely in real time and pose the police with problems that their standard operating procedures weren't prepared for. Interestingly, though, the police didn't deploy this tactical option in England, even though there was pressure from politicians and other stakeholders to do so. Why do we say that frontline policing is a great way to look at the Impossible Jobs framework? Well, the Impossible Jobs framework originally applies to the chief or the agency head, but in policing of urban riots, actually those complexities and dilemmas and problems and impossibilities translate to the front line. So the police officer, because of their powers, because they work with crowds, because they work in a public space, because things can change very rapidly, and because of contemporary technology, is faced with an impossible task. And we use the phrase task because riot police or public order police, that's not the only thing they do. They're in the UK we have a generalist model of policing. We think this is an interesting way of talking about impossible jobs, to draw this distinction between a job and a task. The second thing we do is we suggest that if you think about the most familiar framework within public administration about what makes jobs difficult, it's the account by Litsky of the street level bureaucrat. We suggest that riot police are a kind of subset of this street level bureaucrat, where some street level bureaucrats face the impossible in the way that Hargrove and Glidewell talk about agency chiefs facing the impossible. And a third contribution is to show how the client base has been overly static in the Hargrove and Glidewell's framework, which is a point made by Maranto and Wolfe in 2012, also in Public Administration Review. In some situations, the client base fractures, or it can grow exponentially quickly, hence modern technology. So those are 3 extensions, 3 contributions based on a 3-year multi-method, multi-site study of public order, which, as happened at just happenstance, during the course of which the UK experienced unprecedented riots, which kind of throws some of these questions into really sharp relief. We hope you enjoy the paper. If there are any questions, then please do get in touch. I'm Kevin Morell, and it's co-authored with Graham Curry, both at Warwick Business School. Thank you.